FIFA President Gianni Infantino stood at the podium in Vancouver and made it official. Iran will play in the 2026 World Cup. All 3 group matches will be on American soil. The announcement came 40 days before the tournament starts. But here's what made it news. Just hours before Infantino's announcement, Iran's Football Federation president was denied entry to Canada. The delegation never made it to the Congress. Canadian authorities cited ties to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which Canada designates as a terrorist organization, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio made America's position crystal clear. Iranian players are welcome, but anyone with ties to Iran's Revolutionary Guard will be barred at the border. This isn't just about soccer. This is about a team trying to play 3 matches in a country that just bombed their nuclear facilities 4 months ago. Let's rewind to how we got here. On March 25, 2025, 100,000 fans packed into Tehran's Azadi Stadium. Iran needed just 1 point against Uzbekistan to punch their ticket to the World Cup. They went behind early, then Inter Milan striker Mehdi Taremi equalized with an unstoppable volley. Uzbekistan scored again, and with 7 minutes left, Taremi rescued them. Final score, 2-2. Iran was going to the World Cup. This was Iran's 4th consecutive qualification. They've become Asia's 2nd-ranked team. They finished first in their group with 23 points, ahead of Uzbekistan, UAE, Qatar, Kyrgyzstan, and North Korea. But Iran has a problem. They've never made it past the group stage. Not once. Not in 1978, not in 1998, not in 2006, 2014, 2018, or 2022. Their all-time World Cup record is 3 wins, 4 draws, and 11 losses across 18 matches. Their 3 World Cup wins? USA in 1998, Morocco in 2018, and Wales in 2022. All group stage matches, all eliminations. So when the draw happened on December 5, 2025 at the Kennedy Center in Washington, Iran was placed in Group G with Belgium, Egypt, and New Zealand. 3 matches, all in the United States. To understand why 2026 is so explosive, you need to understand what happened in 2022. In September 2022, 22-year-old Mahsa Amini died in custody after being detained by Iran's morality police for allegedly not wearing her hijab properly. Protests erupted across Iran. At least 450 people were killed. Over 18,000 were arrested. When Iran played England in their opening match, the players refused to sing the national anthem. It was a silent protest in solidarity with the demonstrators back home. The stadium erupted. But by the second match, the players were singing again, half-heartedly, reportedly under threats to their families. Then, 3 days before USA played Iran, the US Soccer Federation did something unprecedented. They posted their Group B standings on social media, but they altered Iran's flag. They removed the Islamic Republic emblem. The green, white, and red stripes were there, but the symbol in the center was gone. US Soccer said it was to show support for the women in Iran fighting for basic human rights. They planned to keep it up for 24 hours. Iranian state television accused America of removing the name of God from their flag. Tasnim news agency, which is close to the Revolutionary Guard, demanded that FIFA ban the US for 10 games and kick them out of the tournament immediately. Iran's government called it a violation of FIFA's charter. USMNT coach Greg Berhalter apologized. He said the team had no idea what US Soccer had done, but the damage was done. The political firestorm was lit. 2 days later, they played. USA needed a win to advance. Iran needed a draw. In the 38th minute, Christian Pulisic collided with Iran's goalkeeper while scoring. He stayed down for minutes, but the goal stood. USA won 1-0. Here's the number that matters. That match drew 15.6 million peak viewers on American television. It was the most streamed match in Fox Sports history, with 959,000 average minute audience on streaming. For context, the USA-England match drew 20 million, but USA-Iran, with all its political weight, brought in more viewers than the Netherlands match in the round of 16. The politics made it appointment television. Now let's talk about why 2026 is different, and why FIFA's insistence that Iran will play might be harder to deliver than Infantino thinks. On February 28, 2026, a joint US-Israeli operation reportedly killed Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. The operation targeted Iran's nuclear facilities. Iran retaliated with strikes on US positions across the Middle East. This wasn't a minor skirmish. This was open conflict between the United States and Iran. By early April, a ceasefire was in place, but it was fragile. Peace talks in Islamabad ended without agreement. The ceasefire got extended, but nobody knows if it will hold. On March 11th, Iran's sports minister said, and I'm quoting directly from multiple reports, "Under no circumstances can we participate in the World Cup." 8 days later, the Iranian Football Federation president softened the stance. He said Iran would boycott matches in the United States, but not the World Cup entirely. They wanted FIFA to move their games to Mexico. FIFA said no. All 3 matches would stay in the United States as scheduled. 2 in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium, 1 in Seattle at Lumen Field. But here's where it gets even more complicated. On June 26th, Iran plays Egypt in Seattle. That match has been designated as a pride match by the city of Seattle. Rainbow flags will be permitted in the stadium. Both Iran and Egypt criminalize homosexuality. Both federations objected to the pride designation. FIFA confirmed the rainbow flags would still be allowed. Now let's talk about who actually gets to enter the United States. The Iranian Federation president, Mehdi Taj, is a former member of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. He was turned away at Toronto Airport in April. Canada cited his IRGC ties. Marco Rubio was explicit about this. Iranian players can come, but nobody with IRGC connections. No Federation officials who are on terrorism watch lists. No journalists or trainers who are actually Revolutionary Guard members. But even if Iran's government agrees to send the team, there's another problem. Iran's domestic league, the Persian Gulf Pro League, has been suspended since February 2026. That's 2 months without competitive football for most of the national team players. The suspension came because of the conflict, security concerns, logistical problems. Most of Iran's national team players play domestically, not in Europe. Mehdi Taremi plays for Inter Milan, but he's the exception. Most of these guys haven't played a competitive match since February. The team is fractured. In 2023, Iran's women's team defected while on tour in Australia. Multiple players refused to return. They cited persecution and threats from the government. And the men's team hasn't defected en masse, but there have been individual cases. Players have been expelled for political reasons. One striker was kicked off the team for an Instagram post supporting protests. And just weeks before the tournament, winger Ali Golizada, who would have started on the right wing, tore his ACL playing for his club in Poland. Season-ending injury. He's out. As of early May, Iran is training in an undisclosed location inside Iran. They're planning a training camp in Turkey before heading to the United States. Their base in the US will be Tucson, Arizona. But here's the question nobody can answer. When the Iranian team lands in Tucson, will their coaching staff be allowed in? Will their trainers, their medical team, their federation officials? The US has expanded its visa bond program. Iranian nationals can be required to post bonds up to $15,000 just to enter the country. That effectively excludes most fans from attending matches. Let's talk about Iran's group. Group G: Belgium, Iran, Egypt, and New Zealand. Belgium is in Pot 1 as one of Europe's elite teams. They're the favorites to win the group. This is Kevin De Bruyne's likely final World Cup. Belgium should beat everyone. Egypt, led by Mohamed Salah, is dangerous. They're Africa's powerhouse, and like Iran, they've objected to the Pride Match designation in Seattle. Both federations, both governments, both opposed to rainbow flags in their match. New Zealand is the underdog. They're in Pot 4, they qualified through Oceania. On paper, Iran should beat them, but Iran's first match on June 15th is against New Zealand. If Iran loses that opener, the pressure on the Belgium match becomes suffocating. Here's Iran's realistic path. Beat New Zealand, lose to Belgium, then it comes down to Egypt. A draw might be enough. A win guarantees advancement, assuming other results fall their way. But Iran has been here before. In 2018, they earned 4 points and still got eliminated on goal difference. They were undefeated against Morocco and Portugal, but Spain topped the group and both Spain and Portugal advanced. Iran went home. In 2022, they beat Wales 2-0 but lost to USA 1-0. They entered the final group match needing only a draw. They lost. They went home again. The psychological weight is real. Iran's players know their history. They've never made it out of the group stage, not once. And this time, they're playing all 3 matches in a country that's currently at war with their government. Here's the thing FIFA doesn't want you to think about too hard. The 2026 World Cup is projected to be the most watched sporting event in history. 6 billion people globally. The 2022 final between Argentina and France drew 1.42 billion viewers, the largest single event audience ever measured. FIFA just announced they're distributing $871 million among participants. That's $100 million more than originally planned. Every federation gets at minimum $12.5 million just for showing up. Fox Sports holds the English language rights in the United States. Telemundo has Spanish language rights. They paid a combined $1 billion for this tournament. And here's the cynical math. Iran's matches will be ratings gold. The politics guarantee it. In 2022, USA-Iran drew 15.6 million viewers. That's more than the Netherlands round of 16 match. The controversy made people watch. In 2026, if Iran plays all 3 matches in the United States, with all the baggage of the conflict, the visa denials, the Pride match controversy, and the possibility that half the team's support staff gets turned away at the border, that's appointment television. U.S. soccer demographics skew young, diverse, and politically engaged. This is exactly the audience that will tune in for a politically charged match. FIFA knows this. Fox Sports knows this. This isn't the first time sports and politics have collided. The 1980 Moscow Olympics saw a US-led boycott. The Soviets retaliated in 1984. Levy Golf tore professional golf apart over Saudi money. The NBA bent over backwards to keep China happy. But here's what makes 2026 different. Iran qualified fair and square. They earned their spot. They're not asking for special treatment. They're asking to play the matches they qualified for. Infantino says sports should unite people. He says it's FIFA's responsibility to bring nations together, but he's asking Iran to play 3 matches in a country that's actively at war with their government, a country that just killed their supreme leader, a country that won't let their federation president cross the border. And even if every player gets a visa, even if the coaching staff gets approved, even if the federation officials somehow make it through customs, Iran will be playing in front of hostile crowds. Iranian fans can't attend because of the visa bond program. The few who do make it will sit next to Americans who remember the 1979 hostage crisis, the Death to America chants, and the decades of enmity. On June 15th, Iran takes the field at SoFi Stadium against New Zealand. FIFA says the match will happen. The US government says Iranian players are welcome. Iran's government says they're fully prepared. But nobody's talking about the alternative. What happens if Iran doesn't show up? FIFA hasn't publicly addressed this scenario, but the rules are clear. If a team withdraws, they forfeit all matches 3-0. Their opponents get the points. FIFA keeps the participation money. Iran would lose $12.5 million. They'd be humiliated on the world stage. And FIFA would have to explain to 6 billion viewers why one of Asia's best teams isn't playing in a tournament they qualified for. The question isn't whether Iran qualified. They did. The question isn't whether they're good enough. They are. The question is whether FIFA, the United States, and Iran can navigate the next 40 days without this entire thing collapsing under the weight of politics neither side is willing to compromise on. Because in 2022, a single tweet about an Iranian flag drove 15.6 million Americans to watch one soccer match. In 2026, the entire team lands on American soil with 10 times the political weight and half the margin for error.